Trailer drop. Scary stories to tell in the dark. Not gonna waste any more time.
This town has told stories about me.
Okay.
Horrible stories.
I know how you feel.
But they don't realize I have scary stories of my own.
Sarah Bellows. Tell me a story.
Scarecrow.
Okay.
Sarah Bellows' book, where the stories write themselves and it all comes alive.
You don't read the book.
Ooh.
The book reads you.
My nipples are so hard.
I'm afraid I'm gonna die again.
Oh,
Hey!
Norris, yeah.
Never walk up.
Next. Next.
Oh, this story messed me.
What the fuck? What
Yeah.
the? No, 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 no!
Oh.
Gee.
Oh, hey. All right. Oh, Dunstan and Melton worked on this too. Not bad.
I know we normally shout out our Patreon page at the top of the videos, but check out our Patreon page. We do weekly Q&As. We also do TV show stream-alongs for many shows. That includes, I did all of Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, My Hero Academia, One Punch Man. John does The Haunting of Hill House. He's almost done with that. And Gotham and Supernatural. And we do reaction highlights included for several shows. That includes One Punch Man, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Supernatural, and My Hero Academia. Don't get too mad at us now, because we waited till after the reaction. Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't read any of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I didn't see any of the Super Bowl spots either for
Really?
this, so this was all brand new footage for me. So
Okay.
please let me go first, since I know you actually grew up on the iconic book series. I'm loving the aesthetic to it, the period piece tales that we're getting here, and like similar to how it's funny how CBS films, they had Twilight Zone with Jordan Peele, which feels very like Jordan Peele's touch on it, and then you got this one, which really feels like Guillermo del Toro's touch on it.
Yeah,
because
totally.
I love the designs that feel like a Guillermo del Toro design here. Like you got a mixture of a lot of cool practical creatures that are infused. And I don't know how much of this looks like just Del Toro's designs or what. I know he doesn't specifically do them, but he works with people. Or does this just look exactly like the book? But this is an anthology series, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I mean, the books, there are 3 books to my knowledge, and they're all just a collection of short stories each. So each one is a page or a few pages long at most. There are some really chilling illustrations, and they're
Okay.
on a youth level, so they're kind of simple in their construction.
Well, it kind of seems like there might be some serial storytelling here, though. Because I was under the impression it would just be strict, like kind of like our I know not Ghostbusters, Goosebumps was came out around the same time. That was more kid friendly, and this was
This
with
was
kids, but it was still much darker from my
Yeah,
understanding.
it's kid accessible, but chilling in a whole other way. Whereas like Goosebumps are like an adventure, but also kind of scary. Whereas these, I remember being just scary, and also again the images helped a lot. with
Yeah.
that. And it's funny that you bring up Goosebumps because even though this looks like it has a more sinister, a more overtly horror movie tone,
True.
I do get a certain similar vibe in the construction because Goosebumps is about them finding R.L. Stein's books and unleashing them on the world, and this seems as though it's about a bunch of the characters and ghouls from the book coming to life and haunting these kids, and the various scenarios that we saw in those stories playing out at least. And it's funny because I have seen the Super Bowl spots, and this is comprised mostly of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, again, the illustrations in those books are are one of the things that people take the most from it because they are horrifying. And actually, it seems like they are doing a pretty good job of basing the creature designs on those illustrations. And I can definitely see like why Guillermo del Toro was called to this because of that aspect that it is a bit more straight horror with a certain whimsy about it. But it's not, at least as I remember it, going to pull the punch so much as maybe a Goosebumps might, you know, where a Goosebumps might compensate by being like fun.
Yeah, is this going on the CBS streaming service?
I don't know. I thought this was for theaters. I mean, this seems like a full-on...
Oh, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a show.
No.
Oh, damn. I was under the wrong impression the entire time here.
Well, because that's the thing, too, is the stories themselves, at least as I remember them, it's been a while since I've read one, but they are slight.
Oh, CBS film.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
So this is... And
I thought it was like, oh, do they have Twilight Zone going and they have this? Not my bad.
Yeah. But I mean, it is similarly drawing from an anthology of sorts. But yeah, and I also, too, appreciate that they got the director of Troll Hunter for this, because Troll Hunter has a certain... It's not like this at all, but it has a certain aspect of whimsy while also being kind of a very immediate found footage horror-y movie.
Well, this then seems a little bit more like a harder R version. I don't know if it's R, but if I get an R-rated vibe.
It have to be PG-13, I think.
Well, I get a much darker version from what the Goosebumps movie was. Because in that movie with the books coming to life, and that's kind of what's going on here, at least what's communicated to me in this trailer.
Yeah, you got the mysterious mansion at the front. And
yeah, well, Goosebumps 2 was not a success, so maybe this will be the way to reinvigorate it. What's the story with the Zit?
Oh, that's one of the most infamous ones. Basically, this girl, I think her name is Ruth, she gets bitten by a spider like while in the bath or something, and this red welt starts to grow on her face, and then no, she's in the bath, and then the welt bursts and a bunch of baby spiders come out because it wasn't a spider bite, a spider laid eggs in her face.
Oh, that happens when I shave down there.
Yeah, just all over your junk.
Yeah,
it's creepy, and it's weird that you're able to keep them there.
Well, they're my friends now.
Yeah, I know. It's like crabs, but on crack. And the other thing I think is funny, too, is they got... Guillermo del Toro co-wrote this with Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, who are the guys who took over Saw after Part 3, and who wrote and directed The Collector and The Collection together.
Gotcha.
And at least the Collector movies I thought were pretty clever, so I feel like this, in the writing department especially, will probably lead with its horror inclinations, as opposed to a Goosebumps.
Yeah. I like the throwback horror vibe that we're getting here. It feels kind of classical in its aesthetic. The cinematography looks excellent. It was kind of reminding me of the imagery of Haunting of Hill House, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Or the house itself reminds me of American Horror Story, too.
Yeah. That's what I mean. There's a lot of callbacks to a lot of different types of elements here, which I feel is appropriate for the very limited knowledge I have of scary stories to tell in the dark.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this. This looks crazy.
Yeah, the one thing I want now, I mean, this is just a teaser, but the one thing I want now is to get a better sense for what the through line of the story is going to be. Like, I'm really happy to see these creatures from my, nightmares of old come to life, and I think those parts are going to be really cool, and you've got built-in fan service there. But, given that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is not one story, the biggest question mark for me is what our central characters are going to be doing, what the plot is going to be like, how the ghouls are going to figure it.
Well, now I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be an anthology film because it looks like an anthology film to me.
Of sorts.
That's the impression I'm getting.
I can't tell if it's a creep show or a trick or treat.
I get what you mean.
That's what I'm wondering,
I'm getting a vibe, just because it doesn't look like it's all in the same time period.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the vibe that it's more of a creep show. All within this. I feel like it's kind of a hybrid. Yeah. Like it's all in the same town. And this is kind of cool because I recently watched, there's nothing like it, but I recently watched Tales from the Hood, which is all in the same town and like horror stories and stuff.
Oh no, it's the same Scary Stories to Tell in the Hood. It's
about black culture and stuff. Yeah, I can see that with the cast here.
It's just going to be all about white issues. Suburban white
blonde girls who can't look good because they got a zit on their face.
And it's prom today! What are we going to do?
With Instagram and social media, it's very relevant to what's going on today.
Having one zit is a lot like having spiders just pour out of your face, it's just horrifying.
I feel you there. Well, we haven't had a very successful anthology-like film, I'm sure I'm one Google search away, from knowing for sure this is an anthology, but either way, it's going to be multiple stories. It's
Yeah,
it's called
yeah.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I consider Trick or Treat to be an anthology,
Totally.
and we haven't had a like financially successful anthology horror film
On a big scale.
yeah,
you know,
and
with-
for quite some time now. It's been a
with
long
hype.
time. Yeah, and it's cool to see that this one is getting the hype it's getting because I want anthology horror to make a big leap to the screen again. I want it to like because Creepshow was something I grew up on that I loved. Trick or Treat was like such a disappointment that it didn't get the mainstream success that it did. Sure, it's got its cult following, and we love that movie. But what gets me excited is this could, if this does well, we might even see more anthology kind of horror films.
Yeah, and also just on a side note, like again, I don't know exactly which audience they're pitching this for, but I do like the inclusion of more youth-oriented horror.
True.
You know, like I think that's a valuable place to explore too. That
Yeah.
we kind of
Especially
slide
after
off.
getting Goosebumps, which was very comedic, and then to have
Yeah.
something that's very horror, that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, are you excited for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? What's your favorite story that they tell in the dark? Do you have a scary story you like to tell in the dark? Do you like the dark? Subscribe to the Reject Nation. Click that notification bell. We'll catch you guys soon.